Okay. So I guess that's gonna have to be good enough, I think. It's actually not terrible. All right, that'll work. Jinx, you can't do that though. All right. Yeah, you're too big, huh? So we have the kitten room open now, and so the other cats can come in. And Jinx has decided he needs to play this morning. So you might see that a time or two. I made a mistake. I screwed up my camera. So if you're over on YouTube and you need to be over on Facebook maybe today, I made a mistake and I started my computer before I had my camera plugged in, so it's taking the camera from my computer. And my cat has decided to sit in front of the computer. Now, anyway. That's Jinx, by the way. Yeah, so a lot of practice clearly, right? Thank God the practice isn't about to practice that bad. So, I don't know, maybe I need to kick him out. I'm gonna kick him out. All right, buddy, I know you're all playful this morning. And he's big and fat. He's a good kitty. I didn't even know. I definitely have animal farm going on here. Sorry. Okay. All right, is it time? Good time, right? Just for the cats. It is time. In fact, it's perfect time. So I know I haven't been with you guys for a while. The other cat's kind of sending it in a way. But yeah, I hope you've been practicing. Just saying that. And there's always hold on, sorry. Over on YouTube, because Facebook doesn't let me save anything anymore for whatever crazy reason. There's plenty of classes, and sometimes I try to describe them a little bit, and then sometimes you just, gotta pick, and if you hate it, stop. Okay, hold on. Oh my God. Okay, these are the cats that live in here. I guess that was a mistake to not have plugged in my camera, but anyway. So here we are. And remember that any day can be different, right? So you come in with all this energy and you get on your mat and you're like, I don't want to do that, this or that, So just listen to your body. And if there's a pose that just isn't working out, then skip it, right? Or, sometimes it's just, I tweak my back, or my shoulder's bothering me today, or my knee hurts, or whatever it might be. That pose might not be for you today. Right? Maybe next week. But just whatever your body gives you, go with that, right? If you need a little deeper stretch, stay longer, right? Or move into a different variation of the pose. Just whatever it is, make it yours. Right? This is your body, not mine, right? Well, this is my body, but you get the idea. So we're going to start standing, obviously, here. Right? Four corners of the feet, hip bone distance apart, toes pointing forward. Pressing down into the feet. Feel how the leg muscles kind of turn on, rather than just standing. And then a little tuck of the tailbone. So the lower back feels nice and long. The lower belly, the pelvic floor lifts. The lower belly lifts in and up. Right? We're tall through the sides, but relax your upper belly. This is where we breathe. Right? And if you hold your belly in, right, you can't breathe into it. So the upper belly, you relax. Relax your shoulders. Go ahead and close your eyes even if you like. And bottom tips of the ears back until you feel that lengthening of the back of the neck, the weight of the head right over the shoulders. Extending through the crown of the head to the ceiling, make yourself extra tall. And you are now 5 inches, well, all right, 2 inches taller than you were. And then just be here for a moment and bringing that awareness inward, looking for those areas that might need a little extra TLC for whatever reason. Bring the awareness to your breath without changing anything just yet. And then breathing all through the nose, begin to expand the breath. So let your inhale get a little bit bigger, and then exhale a little bit more completely. And you want to find that breath that is just beyond comfortable. So make it just a little bit of work. So staying connected to what you have here, the length of your bones, the strength of your muscles, the alignment of your body, those beautiful full breaths. And let's add in some movement. So with the next inhale, take those arms and stretch them up toward the ceiling, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And then exhale, bring them back down. So let your arms look like your breath. We inhale all the way up. The fingertips touch together at the top when your lungs are full. And then exhale, bring them back down again. Do that one more time, all the way up. And then all the way back down. Go ahead and come up to the top again. And as you exhale, tip yourself over to the right. And the fingers can be interlaced, they can be rotated toward the ceiling, or the palms can be rotated toward the ceiling, whatever. Inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, tip over to the left. So you're gently going to move side to side like that. If it feels like it's too much weight, maybe for your shoulders or for your side body, you can use one arm, right? Or maybe just place your hand at your shoulder, because it's the sides of the body that we're stretching, right? The arms just add that little bit of extra body weight, right? Let's go once more on each side, moving into that side as deep as you can get for now. And when you're back to center, just go ahead and exhale, release the arms back to the sides. We're going to take the hands to the thighs here. Lean if you need to lean, of course, otherwise they just kind of hang out. Right? With the breath here, exhale, come forward into a half fold kind of place. And then a little bit of bend in the knee, rounding up through the spine, back to standing. So we want to exhale forward, bend into the knees, and inhale, round up. Taking just a few flows like that. Keeping the back flat on the way down and then really, really round on the way back up. So we're going to come back into the half fold and hold. And you may or may not be parallel to the floor, just whatever half of your full fold is. Right? So this might be a big one, right? Come about halfway. Give yourself a break. So go ahead and bend your knees enough that you rest your forearms on your thighs, and you can lean, of course, like I said, if you needed to. Otherwise, you're just gonna hang out. Take that left arm and sweep it out toward the ceiling. And let your body lean, right? This right knee is gonna pop forward. Again, lean over to the right a little bit. Let that happen for now. And then release that side and switch. Come on back to center. Take the legs straight again. And see if you can move a little bit deeper into your fold. So whatever your full fold is for now. It's still early. They are feisty today. So leaning with the hands on the thighs if that's where you need to be. You can move your arms down toward your shins, your toes, the floor, as long as your back doesn't collapse, right? If you get all round and the knees bend, the stretch is gone, right? So keep the legs straight and maybe just don't touch your toes so bad. So wherever your full fold is for now, just be happy about it. And we're gonna work our way into down dog. So palms flat, shoulder width apart. Go ahead and step your feet back. And maybe start in plank. You can definitely have the knees on the floor for this plank, right? We're just kind of judging the distance of where our hands and feet need to be apart. So starting in kneeling plank or full plank, whatever makes you happy there. And then go ahead and lift your hips and shift back for down dog. And wiggle and stretch a little bit, right? The calves might be a little tight. Shoulders might be a little tight. So go ahead and wiggle, maybe bicycle your feet. Arm wound up. And let yourself move and stretch into that down dog. A lot of times we get very anxious to get our heels to the floor. So we make down dog short. We don't want it to be short. We want it to be as long as the body is in plank. Because go ahead and settle in. Sink your heels, press your chest back. And then with the breath, inhale, shift forward into a plank. And exhale, shift back into your down dog. And so your hands and feet don't need to move. Yeah? Forward and back. You can drop the knees if you need. And you can be on the knees the whole time, right? So kneeling plank, child's pose-ish, yeah? It's the same idea. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go one more time like that, forward and back. And then once you're back in your down dog, we're gonna go ahead and step the right foot forward for lunge. Drop the back knee and wiggle your right foot up until your ankle is under your knee. And then just wiggle around into your hips a little bit. Shift forward and back, side to side a little. And then find a center here. So imagine sweeping your legs together underneath the body. You'll feel your hips kind of square up. From there, take the right leg straight or straighter. You can prop up on a block. You can prop up on your shin, whatever makes you happy here. But even here, keep that idea of the legs pulling toward each other. For those of you on YouTube, Scylla's going to be an internet star, she thinks. She's in the way, sorry you guys. Go ahead and bend into that right knee again and let your hips come forward. That same idea of pulling the hip or the legs toward each other so your hips stay square and you don't slide off to one side or the other. So with this one here, go ahead and take the right hand to the hip and begin to rotate your belly button toward the inner right thigh. Rotating your right side ribs toward the ceiling. See if you can draw your right shoulder back a little bit. And at the same time, pulling your right knee and left shoulder toward each other. You don't want them to touch, but you want to be centered on your mat and not leaning off to the sides. Does that make sense? Go ahead and release that twist. Take your right leg straight again and see if you can find a deeper stretch. Maybe you flex your foot back. Maybe you hinge forward more at your hips and you don't need to prop anymore, whatever it is. Bend back into the knee. Sink into those hips a little lower. Feeling the stretch in the hip flexor there. The hands can absolutely stay on the floor if that's you. Maybe climb up and lean on the right leg. Lifting the upper body more vertical intensifies the stretch. Listen to your body. You can stay lean in with your hands. You can extend them up toward the ceiling. Interlace behind the back if you like. Just let your chest open toward the ceiling a little bit. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Head in line with your spine. We're going to release that. Lift the left knee and take the hands, walking them around into the center of a straddle fold. And then hang out here for a minute. Toes point forward. You can have your feet wider or more narrow. Busy. Snap, crackle, pop. And then from here, we're going to go to the second side. So take your hands, continue to walk them around to your left foot, lunging toward the back of your mat, dropping your right knee. So the same idea, just wiggle around into your hips a little bit. And if you changed up your stance and you need to change where your left foot goes, feel free to do that. Again, that knee ankle alignment is what you're looking for. And then finding that center again. So pulling the legs toward each other. Okay. Taking the left leg straight-ish. Keeping your spine long. Again, if you got to prop up, you got to prop up. It's not a big deal. The alignment of your spine and the stretch in the hamstring is what we're looking for. Everything else is just gravy, right? Bend back into the knee, sinking into the hips. That idea of pulling them together, keeping that stability. The right hand on the floor, left hand on the hip, and we rotate around belly, side ribs, and shoulder. Releasing the twist. Take the leg straight again. Finding that deeper stretch if you're ready for that. And bending back the knee. Sink really low into those hips. And then climb up on the thigh, keeping the hips low. If you need to pad the right knee, definitely do that. Lift the chest a little bit, add the arms in if that's you. And you need a little bit of a back bend. See where it goes. Let's release it back to the lunge. Lifting the right knee, walk the hands back to your straddle. So this time though, instead of having your toes point forward, go ahead and turn your toes out to the corners a little bit. And you may have to walk your feet closer, walk them further apart, turn your toes in or out. Just hang with me for a quick second. With the exhale, bend into the right knee. Inhale, come on back to center. And then exhale over, bending the left. So when the knee bends, move side to side like that. You want to make sure you still got that knee ankle alignment and your knee points in the same direction as your toes. So if you need to adjust, adjust. And as you move deeper into the stretch, you may need to. We're gonna go once more like that on each side. Get yourself even here. And then back to center, holding here. Turn your toes forward again. Bend the knees if you need. We're taking the index and middle fingers and wrapping them around the big toes. The legs can stay bent if they need to, or straight without locking. Elbows bent out to the sides. Maybe a little pull on the toes to draw yourself deeper into the fold if you need that. Releasing the toes, we're going to take those fingers and interlace behind the lower back. Palms face each other. You can pull them together if you like. Pull your shoulder blades together on your back and then stretch the knuckles away from the shoulders. So they may not lift up off of your back, or maybe they do. But the idea of pulling the shoulder blades together and stretching the hands away is the key there. Try to keep a baby bend in the elbows. We're not just hyperextending and flipping them over. Go ahead and release the hands, take them to the floor, and walk them back around to your right foot here. Step back, down dog. Let's do that sliding back and forth in plank. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, back, down dog. A couple more times like that. When you're back in down dog again, go ahead and hold. And from here, we're going to walk the feet forward, come back to a standing fold. So maybe your fold is a little deeper than before. Maybe not. We're going to take the hands back up to the thighs again. And lift yourself halfway up, so that half fold-ish place. Keeping this 90-degree bend in the hip, go ahead and bend into your knees, sitting into a chair. Okay. So again, here, lean if we must lean. Little tuck of the tailbone, you don't want to feel like your butt sticking out back there. Keeping the chest lifted, sinking as low into the hips as you can at the same time. So lean if you have to, hands can come center if you like, or extend out alongside the ears. With an inhale, go ahead and come all the way back up to standing and release the arms. So we're going to take a standing back bend. Where your hands go is entirely up to you. You may need a little bit of support, so on either side of the lower back. Okay? You may like the fingers interlaced behind the lower back, like we did in that fold, or up alongside the ears. You can take cactus arms, bent at the elbows, if that's appealing, and work around into it because it's a totally different stretch depending on where you have your hands. But wherever you have your hands, the idea stays the same. We're even on the four corners of the feet. The tailbone tucks just a little bit. You never want to feel like you're smashing into your lower back or into your neck. Okay, so I'm going to keep length. So that little side of the tailbone, imagine lifting your chest up toward the ceiling. Feel the space in your spine. And then you are almost already in your back bend again. Moving the spine wherever it will go. Keeping the chin tucked in. Again, we don't want to just let the head hang. And again, the arms just sort of add sensation or support. Yes? One more breath wherever you are. And then make your way back up to a neutral place. Release your arms Just hold for a moment, stand really tall, tons of length in that spine. Supporting on the thighs, gently begin to bring yourself forward, half fold-ish. Again, leaning as much as you need to lean. And then go ahead and take yourself all the way into your full fold again. So this time here, we're going to bring our feet together. And we want to squeeze the legs in toward each other. Keeping that idea, hands back up to the thighs, bending into the knees for our chair. Right? Very similar, you might feel a little wobbly. The more you hug into the middle, tucking the tailbone, hopefully the more stable you can be. We're going to add in a twist. So the right hand to the outside of the right knee, left hand to the hip. And if you pull against the knee, keep them hugging together so they stay pointing forward. You get a little bigger twist. And on YouTube, that is Gabby. So right elbow maybe to the outside of that knee, and you get a bigger twist. Palms can come together. The arms can open. Right hand towards your left ankle, left hand toward the ceiling, if that's you. One more big breath. And then release that. Hanging out in this fold for just a little quick second. And then we're going to move to that second side. So you decide how deep to go with that, yeah? Bend into the knees, hug the legs together, finding your stability first, and then adding in whether it's just the left hand to the outside of the knee, left elbow to the outside of the knee, palms together, the hands apart. Little pieces. Gabby. I do not know what happened. Okay. There we go. Take one more breath. And then release that twist back to your fold again. Go ahead and open your feet into that hip bone distance again. Taking a little bend in the knees. On an inhale, we're going to roll the spine all the way up to standing. All right. So, from a standing position, go ahead and take a nice big step back with the left foot. We're going to start off in a warrior two. So the right toes point forward, the left toes are cut in, and the right heel pretty much aligns with your left instep. When we bend into the knee, look down, see if you can see your right big toe. Extend the arms. Now think about our hips being square to the floor, not this left hip kicked up. Yeah. Same idea with the shoulders. Looking over the right fingertips. If you find this right knee creeping in, maybe turn your left toes in toward the top of your mat a little bit. Maybe you're just a little tight in the inner hip. From here, take the right leg straight. And then reach forward for your right toes, over your right toes. Stretch toward the wall in front of you. Take this right hand bend, let it fall to wherever on your leg, your shin, your knee, your thigh. Maybe it's your toe. Maybe. The left hand toward the ceiling. So we want to be open to the side, not toward the floor. And if you need to lean on this leg a little bit, feel free. You can prop here as well. You can even prop on like the seat of a chair. And again, if the top arm is too much, you just take it out of the equation. We're going to release, come over into a lunge. So the left knee can be on the floor again if you need it. Otherwise, take the right leg straight again. Imagine grounding your right foot and then pressing your right hip back. That idea of pulling the legs toward each other here works. And we want to be stable. So if you feel like you need the left knee on the floor or you need this left foot in closer, the adjustments, we're going to twist here. So left hand stays where it is, right hand to the hip, rotating the belly, the side ribs, the shoulder, just like we did with the left knee down. Releasing that side. Let's go ahead and step the left foot forward. Bend into the knee and roll on up through the spine. Right, so that same sequence on the second side, and it might feel a lot different. Cats. Big step back with the right foot. So check your feet, and it's fine to look at your feet. Right? Sometimes we think we know where they are, and it isn't at all where it is. Bending into the left knee, check for your big toe. Cats are going to be the death of me. No, I can't find it again. Oh my word. I might have lost YouTube. Sorry, y'all. All right, well, if you're here, I apologize. I don't know what the cats did, but anyway, sorry. So warrior two, keeping the shoulders level. And then into triangle, so the left leg is straight. We reach forward and hinge over. Leaning if you must lean. And then releasing that over into your lunge. Decide if you need your right foot closer, the knee on the floor, whatever it is you need. And then when you're ready for it, take the left leg straight. Keeping the hips square, spine really long, supporting on the blocks or the shin. And then adding in that twist. Right? So the right hand stays put, the left hand comes to the hip, and we rotate around. Release the twist. And step forward for fold. Once again here, go ahead and roll on up, back to standing. And we're going to take our standing balance. Well, sort of standing anyway. We're going to see if we can maybe add in that twist. So let's see where we go. If you cannot touch your fingertips to the floor, you might want to walk, right? Or like I say, the seat of the chair, whatever it is. Bringing yourself over into that fold, half fold-ish kind of place with the fingertips supporting for now. They may or may not remain. From here, start to lift your left leg back. And we only want to lift at hip height. Right? We want to keep the hips square. That idea of even here, pulling your legs toward each other. If you feel like you're smashing into this right hip, push up with that right foot. Keeping some length there. So now maybe you need both hands on the floor, and that's fine. But maybe you only need one. Maybe you can bring your right hand to your thigh or your shin or whatever. Maybe you don't need either. Maybe. And then this left leg and upper body are parallel-ish to the floor. The right leg is straight without locking the knee, ideally. And if you want to fly the arms, they can fly back to the sides, forward, whatever. Take another big breath wherever you are. And then release it all over into your fold again. Let yourself hang out, maybe a little bend in the knees. From there, working your second side, lifting the right leg back. Again, only parallel-ish to the floor. Pressing through the heel, like imagine standing on that right leg, sweeping the legs toward each other, keeping that right hip or left hip from getting smashed. And maybe begin to lift the fingertips away from the floor. Flying the arms maybe, breathing. And yes, of course, you're gonna wobble, so what? And then release it all back to your fold again. If you are at the top of the mat, go ahead and just step yourself back into a down dog. Otherwise, make your way back to the mat. Stepping back into down dog, and then dropping down into a child's pose. And remember, you can have the knees wider, more narrow. Support yourself in any way you need to. From child's pose, let's go ahead and come up onto the heels. So, if this is not a comfortable place, don't worry about it, right? Prop up on a block. You can open your knees and your feet evenly and sit your hips between your feet if that's you, right? If it's absolutely not going to happen, don't worry about it. We're not going to stay back for very long, but again, listen to your body. So, from here, open your feet, even if you can't sit your butt between your heels. I'm going to move back a little bit. Open your feet and knees, so if you could sit your butt back, you can. And you can have a block there if you need a block there, no big deal. Either way, keep your shins where they are, bring your upper body forward, and see about laying down on your belly. Hopefully that's simple. A little tuck of the tailbone. You can come all the way down and just cocked up. Press back up and sit back. So we're going to do that same idea a couple of times more. Come forward, all the way down. Tuck your tailbone, and then press up and back again. Do that one more time. Press up and back. And see if your hips and knees or whatever are a little bit heavier here. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's kind of like taking a rusty hinge and just going, same idea. So forget all that. Bring your knees back in. And we're coming up on the tops of the knees. So if you need to cushion your knees, maybe flip your mat over a couple of times, take a pillow, or not a pillow, a towel, a rolled up towel or something just to give a little extra cushion. And we're going to work with that back bend again a little. So everybody in camel gets real excited about reaching for their heels. But the idea is to reach back over your head for your heels, right? And that's a long way away from most of us. So usually we go back with our hands down and then we lean back and, oh, yay, I touched my heels, but that's not even camel. So we're going to try to work it the other way. And maybe you don't get anywhere near your feet, don't worry about it. So the knees are hip bone distance apart, just like our feet would be. A gentle little tuck of the tailbone. And just like when we had our standing back bend, maybe the hands need to be on either side of your lower back to protect it. Not a big deal. If interlacing your fingers back behind your lower back is where you want to be, that's absolutely fine too. Don't reach for your heels. Otherwise, bring your arms up alongside your ears. Your arms stay aligned with your ears, and we never want the chin jutting out. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Your hands can come together. Maybe you want to even interlace them. That's fine as well. That same idea that we did when we were standing. So a little tuck of the tailbone, right? Hips stay over the knees. We lift the chest toward the ceiling, and already there's a little baby back bend. Okay? So listen to your body, and maybe you can continue to work that. And someday, when your back bend is gigantic, you can bend at the elbows and your feet are there. Someday. 20 years later, it's still not there. It's okay. You're breathing wherever you are. With the next inhale, gently bring yourself back to a neutral place. Release your arms. And go ahead and sit back on those heels just for another little second. Again, if you need to be propped, feel free. Giving your spine that little extra moment there. And then move your towel or unfold your mat or whatever if you cushioned your knees. And slowly make your way into a down dog again. Stretch your legs. Go ahead and drop the knees and make your way to seated. Extend the legs out long. Feet hip bone distance apart, toes pointing out toward the ceiling. Keep the legs nice and active. Sit really tall, chest lifts. We're going to extend the arms and then hinge forward here. When you can't hinge any further, let your hands fall. And maybe you touch your toes and maybe you do not. Knees hugging into the chest. We want to rock a little bit just because that feels good. And then one more time with that same idea of the spine that we did standing up, that we just did on the knees. We're going to do the same thing here. So the feet flat to the floor. Heels pretty close to your hips, but not touching. Right? The knees point up toward the ceiling, hip bone distance apart. So far, that's the same-ish, right? Arms tight down the sides of the body, and you can have your elbows bent to your arms straight, whatever makes you happy. Tucking them in nice and tight. Keep your head and neck comfortable. Press down into your triceps. You feel your chest kind of lift away from the floor already. Right? Pull the heels toward the hips, and go ahead and lift your hips off the floor. So similar idea in the lower body. In the spine. Anyway, hands again can be down on the floor. You can interlace them behind your back. Tucking the shoulders closer together gives you a little lift. So the weight of the body, upper body anyhow, is on the backs of your arms and really the back of your head, right? Because some of your shoulders touch, but if you have them squeezing together pretty good, not a whole lot, yeah? Keep the legs pulling toward the hips. Press a little harder into your right foot and see if you can lift your left leg toward the ceiling. Release that. Get centered again. And then see if you can switch. Press harder into your left, lift your right. Release that side. Release the hands and come on down. So just take a second here, lay flat on your back. You can have the knees bent or the legs extended. And then nice and gentle, one more time, draw those knees into the chest. So the final twist is always your option. right? So you can have the feet flat to the floor, you can shift the hips first, you can leave the knees closer to the chest, straight legs, bent legs, cross legs, whatever. Arms open into a T. We're gonna start with the legs dropping over to the right. Try to relax your shoulders back. You can rest into it more. You can add a more active element by maybe pressing through the left knee or taking that left leg straight and extending away from your left hand, reaching in opposite directions there. Okay? So again, either just melting into it or making it more active, whatever feels right today. We're going to take one more breath over on this side. And then make your way back up to the middle. Moving to your second side, and always start with the same variation as the first side. And then decide if you need to adjust. Just a couple more breaths over on this side. Making your way back to center again. One more time, knees into the chest. Squeeze them in good this time. Pull the forehead toward the knees, give yourself a hug. And then take that final long stretch, fingertips to toes. And then release your stretch and make your way to Shavasana. So fully extended, feet flat, soles of the feet together, legs up the wall, seated meditation. Find where it is today. Once the body is comfortable, relax the muscles. Release the breath. Keeping your mind quiet. Give yourself just a few minutes to just rest. one in. Oh. So you got it all. I didn't realize. Okay, sorry, y'all. I came to apologize for whatever my cat did, but I guess I don't have to. All right, thanks. Bye.